mess. You want to say hi, Mom? We haven't brushed your hair yet. We're going to wash it later. You look pretty no matter what.
Oh, that's nice.
You nice and light?
Nice and light.
Did you sleep good last night?
Yes.
Yeah? Yeah, she got a pretty smile. She lets me borrow her pretty smile. Isn't that nice of her? Today on the menu is oatmeal. I already uploaded a TikTok of what I did for breakfast. I had a sirloin. I had a sirloin sandwich with Monterey Jack and Hatch cheese. Monterey Jack cheese with green Hatch chilies in it. Then I warmed up I should have just had it cold. It would have been better cold. I fucked it up. But I live and I learn. I live to learn, huh, Ma?
Yeah.
Isn't that what we do?
That's
why I tell everybody all the mistakes I make in life so they can go make their own. Don't make all the same ones I make. I asked Ma, I said, Ma, you want to do a talk? She's like, yeah, that'd be nice. I said, what do you want to talk on YouTube or do you want to talk on TikTok? And she said, YouTube. So here we are in our tiny tube, me and Ma having breakfast. Bloop, bloop, bloop. This stuff is good. It's from Albuquerque. It's latte. It's mango latte. It's different than the mango latte I've had in... Best mango latte I think I ever had was at this place in Omaha. Under... like off Center Street. Yeah. You ever ate flavors that are so good, Ma? You chase them down all over the world to try to recreate the flavor that you taste that's so good? You ever do that? Like, I had burgers when I was a kid. We lived across the street from this place in Redding called Mission Square.
Mission Square?
Remember Mission Square when we lived on Manzanita Lane, Ma? We didn't live there a long time. Year and a half? A couple years maybe. I don't know. We kind of pass in and pass out. And so across the street in Mission Square they had these stores, and I'd have all this energy all the time, and Mom would always tell me to go outside and use my energy wisely. It's so I go ride my bike and I go off and go on all kinds of adventures. And then I come home and, what'd you do? Not much. But I'd be like climbing, playing in the tunnels under the streets and, finding people that had secret rooms and places. And it's like I was finding that the world is a very deceivious place. It's very mischievous. And so they had these stores at Mission Square across the street. One of them was the humor shop. They had things like whoopee cushions. I always thought those were silly. I had one.
You had one?
Yeah. But then people thought that, they could always produce things that were way more disgusting in real life.
Wow.
So my little fake flatulence in a rubber sack could not contend with their dank, stinky ass. So, anyway, want some yellow stuff? You like this stuff. It's nice and light. And then they have this burger place in Mission Square. I think it's still there. Drink some of that. Here, you hold it, honey. I can't pour it down your throat, sweetie. Called Bartle's Burgers. And Bartle's Burgers had probably the best burger I ever had in my whole entire life. And I have been chasing and I've been to other burger places that have burgers that are comparable. But that's what makes it a good burger, because it doesn't just taste like one burger. It tastes like you go to this great burger place down in Bellevue, Nebraska, that people all over the world have flown and eaten at Stella's Burgers.
Wow.
Because it's a good burger, it tastes like Bartle's Burger.
Oh.
You see what I mean? Like, these burgers, they're different. They don't taste like McDonald's. Like, they're so good you don't want to shit on your taste buds by giving your taste buds food like McDonald's. We haven't had McDonald's in 5 years.
5 years.
And the last 5 years, it was like breakfast at McDonald's. It wasn't burgers and stuff. Like I never liked I never, because we grew up knowing the importance of nutrition and diet. Because they said when I was little that I was hypoglycemic. And all that is like, we're just factories, and how we process things in our environment basically dictates what we put out in our environment. Junk in, junk out. Watch too much junk on TV, you're gonna go out like they do in New Mexico and act like shitty cousins. Junk out. It's just how it goes. You act good, you feel better, you do right, not just for yourself, but for everybody included, even for the ones that they just shouldn't count. The census just doesn't pick up the demographics for the population of the people in which I speak for. Oh, you okay? That sounded like a whacked your little knuckle. So, Bartle's Burgers. And then in that same house, like, you'd say, what's up? You'd smell those burgers, and then, like, one time we couldn't go home at night because there was a guy that lived behind Hokum's vacuum right there. I used to dumpster dive behind there, and then I would find stuff, and I'd play Inspector Gadget and try and invent things and spy and all that, because I'm Scorpio moon, it's in me. And, that's cool. I'm glad. It's nicer to hear that than hear that I don't, because somebody was into the chat the other day and they're all, I hate you, and I'm like, dude, I'm not your mom and I'm not your dad. You need pats or circles, buddy. You need both, huh? Go back to your Mortal Kombat. Fucking Jesus Christ, this ain't the place. I haven't played video games since Super Mario 3. We used to drop acid and watch the circle go round, and I didn't know when to jump, and I just sit there and laugh. That's hella dope. In India, I had this picture taken. Look at this. If you go to Facebook and look up the panorama, this is from that hotel. That's where I got to stay, and this is in this is 2003. I stayed there when NATO, the nations, decided to bomb Iraq. So this is part of my channel, is telling my story that Washington, D.C. and Hollywood are the same. They both exist to create a contrived reality, and then they tell people, that doesn't happen. It only happens in the movies. It's their fucking legal defense, see? I know this. My brother's a dirty lawyer. He's a dirty scumbag lawyer. You know, the kind that would throw his own mother and his own autistic sister away to the wolves of society. You know what, though, happened? He never thought I would become the pack leader of the wolves. I became the pack. A member that, no, not the leader. I just became part of the pack. There's always meaner. Have you ever been drug around by a freaking German Shepherd? Have you ever been mauled by a dog? Have you ever been in the mouth of an animal and it didn't want to let go and you really freaking wanted it to? I have. Whoa. I've done a lot of things that other people haven't done. Does that mean I really don't exist? According to my sister, Jessica, rest in peace, 6, she died a couple years ago on the back of a motorcycle. And, just living that best Harley lifestyle. She reminds me why I don't drive motorcycles. I have a Freemason father one time. I told him I wanted to get a motorcycle, and he said, nah, people like you shouldn't get motorcycles. They end up dead. And then my sister died on a motorcycle. It's the weirdest thing how sadistic my father is. Wow. Here. Bite. So I really try not to be, because it's in me. It's in my DNA. I got the lizard blood in me. I got the white man blood, but I got mom's blood in me too. I got the brown girl blood. So I got all the colors of the rainbow. And it doesn't matter what people are. It matters with what people do with what they are. right?
Right.
Want drink some of this? I'll put it away.
No, that's okay.
You're done? You don't like it? You want some water? You want some water? Drink that? Did you get enough to eat?
Mm-hmm. It's very soft.
Ma don't do this stuff for herself. Ma hasn't fed herself a meal since 2017. What year is it? I don't know. I lose track. Yet people, tell me. I see on the internet. I see all the important people talk on the internet that have done nothing comparable to anything I've ever done in my life, mind you. Yet they have to stop doing the unimportant things so that they can, go on vacation and rest up and recharge their batteries. So they can, and I'm like, dude, I haven't had a day off since 2017. That's why I do videos. That's why I do content. Is I just go out to the grocery store, and then I take pictures of the pretty sky, and I load them up on because I share my life, and then I come home and I show Mom all the pictures I took. The world had me travel around to be a part of fake wars. So I'm a reporter. I'm a Heyoka. I look in the dark at all the people that say they're bright lights, and I see where their shadows are, because the best people do the worst things, and the people that seemingly are the worst beings, they're the ones that are out there doing, you know what I mean? It just depends. But a pervert's a pervert. And dude, if perverts don't go to jail, then they're not sorry for what they did, so they'll keep doing the things that they did. And that is the administration, and they're all creeps. They're all creeps. They're all nasty. They're gross. They're all change jinglers is what we used to call them. They'd stand next to you real close, the old creepy dudes, and they'd jingle their change in their is the grossest thing, because there's no reason. There are reasons why people. It's just I see the most nasty thing, because the creeps that are perpetuating they part of them. Part of them, essentially, I'm gonna say it like this: it's just crass, and I hope nobody. People come to my stand-up conversations. They're not so much comedy. It's more telling the truth of stuff that I can't say on the internet. But what people do to get their jollies off, there's people that it's like not just doing the thing, but they like doing it right in front of people's faces. That's why that guy made that movie called Eyes Wide Shut, because they do this stuff as a mockery, because you're watching them do their weird stuff. And what kind of a weirdo watches people do their weird stuff? So welcome to their club. And I won't watch theirs. I won't participate. The stuff I haven't participated in, I haven't had a Subway sandwich since Jacob got convicted, and they endorsed Mike Vick, the dog fight killer. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to eat food by companies that support evil acts. And then they keep doing this stuff. I can't understand the mind of people that like these false idols for profits. I don't understand how there's still a world that exists that still has the Grammys and the Academy Awards, and that looks like, why are they going like this still? I go like this in the morning and in the evening when I want to let my mind rest. Because I'm thinking all day, and even when we were just watching Will Trent, and I was like, what a bunch of dirty birds. I like the stuff that I have allowed myself, and I'm looking everywhere, because the opening scene is basically soft porn. And so I'm like, where's the damn remote? How come I can't find? I just want to fast forward to this. By the time I get, fast forward, the darn thing's going to be over. I don't want to see this. Why do they because it puts lust in people's hearts. Because if it's fun to see, it's probably got to be more fun to watch. So, you know, and then they always, their quirky little quippy thing is every opening scene of the show, it's part of their show element, is that they put Will Trent someplace in the scene. And in this episode that was aired the third, it was on condoms, and I was like, are we going back to free love era? And the you know, passing yourself around like the 7 tradition basket, and energy is an autonomous. I mean, energy is it. That's like the most sacred thing we can have is our energy field. Right? Is what we put in our energy field. Like, I have to repel stuff all the time. I'm always repelling stuff. Of resisting temptations is what they call it. I know it could be done. I do it every day. I don't know why more people don't resist their own temptations. But whether it's that McFlurry or, you know, something dirty. I can't stand where, like, the unuseful gather and do nothing much and drink too much but bring down the collective sum of all parts energy by doing just the opposite of good orderly direction, right? Because how many people, this is how I think, this is how my brain works. You have one person that watches something like The Superb Owl. And so they get up, I don't know anything about when it starts, stuff like that, right? But they're like, oh, today's the day. They're charged. They're plugged into the excitement that everybody else is excited about. Basically, that they get to escape into oblivion with permission, because look at all these other people doing it. It's usually people start drinking maybe a couple days before. They start drinking, you know, they're already drinking. They cater in the Super Bowl stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then the game starts. Maybe they'll make it to halftime because it's going down like water. How many Super Bowls did I not see? A lot, because I'd pass out before. And I'm talking because I'd wake up and start drinking, so I'm only speaking from experience. These aren't hypotheticals. More like Marge medicals. And so, you know, you eat, you drink, you get heartburn, you overdo it. And so before you know it, it's 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. Okay, so it's a good 10-hour day. Like Gilligan's Island, like it's supposed to be a 3-hour tour, but it's like a 7, 8-hour day. So that 7, 8-hour people, it just wasted a whole entire day. Now you multiply that towards all the common denominators in all the land that get sucked into that time suck. That didn't do anything productive because they sat there and got sucked in. And I think it's interesting. I think I got a screenshot. I can't remember who the woman says. But she's like, you know that the Patriots, it's just the side view of the Baphomet, right? And I said, yeah, this woman is absolutely right. I wish I would. I don't like sports. I left sports back when I was a child because that's like the mentality of a child is what the sports fan is to me. They're the ones that, you know, it's the camaraderie, it's drinking soda and Kool-Aid, it's the party, it's the, you know, keep it going. And then they never talk about, you know, then you hear the aftermath about all the terrible stuff happens. Like, I remember when Noble died, it was February 4th and it was a Super Bowl. And he transitioned. His heart gave out, and he went into heart, and he died in my arms, while the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl, and then trashed their own city. Like, who gets excited about stuff and then shits on their own town? Like, who gets so excited they shit on their own floor? Philadelphia. You know why it's called the city of brotherly love? It should be called the city of butt stuff. Bobby coils and butt stuffs. Because all the Bobby Coyle poster boys are freaking getting happy endings at the massage parlor, only gonna make his girl Lib cry. But he's gonna give me a shout out from that podium at the Bellevue anniversary. I can't stand shout. When people say, here's a shout out to my girl Marge at a podium at an AA conference, I must be somebody kind of important. Because the man who said it was so important, he made that whole room sit and wait. Because he wasn't up. He's too important to be like everybody else. He was back talking to Lib, the girl half his age, because he was in his 40s. Lib was like 21 with the mentality of a 12-year-old. And then you just hear the click-clack of his little tasseled shoes. As he walks up, the whole room's quiet. Then he goes, this is a shout out to my girl Marge. And then I think about Bobby Coyle of PA, union leader, representative of police, blah, blah, blah. If you look him up, that's who he is. How would you like it if I shouted out how the night you met your wife, she unsuspectingly walked out of the bathroom with your eggplant in your hand. Thank goodness she forgave you, and thank goodness you became less of a predator because she kept you off the street. So thank you, Libby, for your service. And all of the ones for you, Bobo the clown. Dude's a gunner. Did 2 years in the Air Force. Went back, and then went and up the ranks in the chain of in the police force. And that's how I know that there are no good police. Because if you're such a good police, man, woman, whatever, how come you couldn't find all the scumbags that are protecting Epstein and all of his buddies? How come? Because you're all like the Bobby Coyles that were all dickheads to me. I've been freaking bullied by police since I was a kid. It's like I've had a target on me where people just like, let's fuck with this bitch. And then they think it's fun until I play back. Then they don't like it anymore. Then it's like, why you gotta make it personal? Why you gotta hurt feelings? Why you got, and all this stuff. And it's like, dude, you're a narcissist. You have no feelings. Those are all appeal to emotion fallacies. You live life in fallacies. America is a country run on fallacies. A bunch of stuff that we're told on how things are is not how things are in America. And America's starting to figure that out. So I don't feel bad for them, because people don't get to freaking get to the good places without going through shit. And there's too many people that have had too many advantages for far too long because they treated other people like shit. And now things are going to get... See, I don't know so much of the poles are going to flip, because I don't believe the sun is like... I don't believe in the world as the reality in which I was told it and made to believe. It's more like a gigantic radio. And we're the songs, and we just travel around the world based in the little tune in our heart. We're going to be a love song, or we're going to be a heavy metal song, that always ends up butt stuff in the dark of debauchery. Like that's how those, like, concerts, it always ends up stuff like that. Like bad stuff, like, because people that don't control themselves gather in environments. That's where you can find people that don't have a self-control. That's where they cut loose. And then the things that they do to cut loose are Diddy parties and Epstein's and Weinstein's and Clive Davis's. And it trickles all the way down. I live in New Mexico. I got ordained years back, so I don't really believe it, but I believe in sacred union type thing. So if people want to do that, I'll be the heyoka for you. I'll do that. And so I wed one couple on the Tuesdays, the days with all the twos. They're divorced now. They couldn't get their union to last. It wasn't because I didn't try to solidify it, but it was on shaky foundation to begin with. It was out of my hands. And so, one wedding I did, And the guy that was the groom, we would sit and we would talk and have safety meetings, and he would tell me about his stories that he knew from Taos Pueblo and his upbringing there, and he'd talk about the giants in Cuesta and stuff, and that's where Mom was formed from. And then I was like, maybe Mom's giant from Cuesta, you know. And then I am of mother, so maybe I'm giant from Cuesta. And then she'd tell stories about young women that he would come across paths with. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful women. And women so beautiful, people want to take that beauty from them because they're so beautiful. Because once you do things that they don't like, it takes that beauty. It makes them a little more ugly, like the people that do it. They just want to perpetuate ugly in the world. And he'd tell me stories about how these young women, like, they'd be hanging at the park like I was hanging out with homie at the park, just talking, and they'd be like, yeah, you know, old dudes are coming in through town, and they'll drive through the park and, you know, be like, hey, girls, want to make some money, go party with some old dudes, come on down. And they ended up on Epstein Zero Ranch, you know. That's like 1 degree of separation from me. You know, like the systems, they just do this stuff where people ain't looking. Nobody cares about New Mexico. If they cared about New Mexico, like the rich people don't care because they're too busy lining their own pockets, being all corrupt, because they are the law. And so who's going to stop them? And so the young people, they don't got no advantage. So they're out there in the streets freaking breaking shit, all freaking cries for help, you know. Because all they got for their role models are what? Grand Theft Auto? Video games? And it hurts their feelings, so people, what do they do when their feelings get hurt? They drink too much. They do too many blue pills. And why would they think of blue pills? I don't know. Breaking Bad? They make shitty things look cool. But that's okay. Because people have free will. They don't have to do that. They can stop themselves. Well then, why can't all the politicians stop their Zionic butt stuff? I'll be the #1 goyim. Because I'm like both. I got both the blood.
Wow.
I got the good blood and the dirty blood. And neither of the blood put me in good advantage. You want to know why? Because I live from the spirit. I live for God. I live for doing the right thing. I don't live for butt stuff. And there's another lady in freaking Taos that sells a sticker that literally says fucking butt stuff on it. And I'm just like, if only you knew. How butt stuff is literally like the reason why societies have collapsed. Because you have weird dudes that drink too much and party and then go off into their caves and do stuff. And then they create algorithm of the cave. And they create a reality where we're supposed to be afraid all the time. Where we feed the earth grid. And then they charge us for electricity that we provide. It makes no sense. So we don't participate much in the world, huh, Mom? No. We used to be out in it. Then they made it too gross. And every time things get too gross, I just don't want to play no more. I pack up my toys and I go home because I just go home and just think about some way to do something of use to somebody because people are too busy living that best life, doing whatever they want all the time, and it's exhausting. It's exhausting. So, people want to know what happens when your dads go off to war. They're hanging out in hotels like this. Getting paid hazardous duty. And when I say duty, I don't mean D-U-T-Y. I mean D-O-O-T-I-E. Like dog duty. Because that's what it all is. It's all bullshit. America is no better off as a nation in 2026 because of any bomb we dropped in any place else at any other time in history. Yet, they perpetuate what a great place it is. What all the wonderful opportunities that people have, which isn't true because nepotism exists. And as long as nepotism exists, you can want that position in that role. All you want, it doesn't matter. It's already assigned to somebody else. It's not you. And if you get a little blip where people pay attention to the things you say, it's because we live in a hierarchical mind beehive society where Active Directory, the back end setup mainframe for Microsoft and all organizations that use it, is that there's Active Directory, which there's groups and permissions. So some people are granted access to locations where they're privy to all the data, and then you have some that have menial little tasks, and they can just get the little piece that they need, and the whole world is made up on that. And you know how they gather the data for that? With our military, with missions like the RC-135s, the OFIT, like the what I used to do, the Looking Glass mission, because they have instruments that do not know the difference, whether people are, I love America, America's the greatest country in the world. If they're talking on the phone saying it to somebody and it's transmitting through little wires and gizmos and gadgets, or if somebody's sitting in their freaking crapper on the toilet taking a big old dump and they're thinking to themselves, I love America, America, those instruments don't know the difference, because thoughts are frequencies made up, derivative of emotions, see, is how I see it. And then look at the last 5 years, you have all these traumatic deaths from COVID and all this terror that has been implemented, like hell unleashing at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, this frequency of terror. And then so what? People go outside and they just feel a constant fear frequency because it's all around them. So degauge yourself. Meditate. Pray. If I'm weird kid praying and just wanting the best for other people, I'm not thinking weird shit because people are pointing negative thoughts at me all the time. They do it all the time. Bad intention. I don't do it. I know, but I hear other people do it. I hear them, how they speak, how they wish bad things to happen on people. Enough people do it, bad stuff starts to happen. So I'm always like, hedge of protection. I went and got new deodorant, and it has, this is what I'll just get it right, because it's right here, I'll show people. Right, this is how I protect myself against the principalities. You alright, Mom?
Mm-hmm.
So I go to the store and then I get this stuff.
Oh.
Oops, shit. Did I just knock over my coffee?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was empty, mostly. I get this stuff. I don't necessarily like the smell. Because I don't like the smell of Palo Santo and frankincense. Well, I like frankincense. I don't really like the smell of Palo Santo. And then I got this soap. And it has frankincense and myrrh. So this is what the Magi, like gift of the Magi, that's what they get. That's what the astrologers gave baby Jesus. And then I was telling the lady at the grocery store, I said, I said there's certain frequencies that don't like smells. It reminds them of things. And I think that the low vibrational frequencies, like, they don't like the smell. So it's like ooga booga repellent is how I look at it, right? So when you're a joyful person, you will repel things that are not authentically of joy. Understand that? So I like to live in I wear, plus I'm Pisces and Venus. I wear bright colors. I wear my pants rolled up to my knees like knickers and really tall socks. And generally, more often, 98%, 99% of the time, my socks, they don't match. Oftentimes, they're not even the same kind of socks. Like, they're different textures. Like, it's funny. I really am epitomize the archetype of the clown, of the jackass. So people that get embarrassed don't like me, because I'm going to feel who it is. Because I can feel the fear of not wanting to be seen, because I've had that fear. I used to bury myself in seats at the movie theater because I would hyperfixate on a woman in the theater. because they tried to that's how they hyper that they wanted me to be a honey pot. They couldn't make the prude the honey pot. I'm the honey pot. I ain't never met my honey. I'm a prude. They wanted me to be like them. They did everything they did could break my soul, my spirit, to fragment me so that I would just disassociate and chase sensations and be a whole bag like, all the sex kittens programmed. That's what they want, and I wouldn't do it. Jenna Jameson, we're born on the same day. Like, I am what she could have been if she would have resisted her temptations, and I am what she is what I would have been if I would have never resisted mine. If I would have just, because I get it from my dad. My dad's, he's Aries. I'm Aries. Like, we're horn dog, you know what I mean? And they turned my switches on, like, as a baby before my mind was even receptive to what was happening. So, like, I would go through, I would feel things and I didn't understand cognitive, because they broke my program. And I still wouldn't be like them. I still wouldn't succumb to the nastiness of the contrived reality. Wasting time, doing nothing useful. Idle hands is the devil's work and all that jazz. Right? So, we're getting to a place soon, Mom and I. Stay tuned, because we're going to be going on the road a little bit more here, because the weather is getting nice. And we're going to take road trips with Ma out and about. Hey, go hey, say a hey, okay, hey, if you see us out and about in northern New Mexico. We're going to go around, get some food, do some food reviews for little cute old ladies. Huh, Ma?
Yes.
And let her see some sights, because Ma was born here and not raised, so she didn't get all the advantages. So we're going to go play tourist in the town, in Mom's homeland, and that's how we're going to spend our next little while. And things are pretty okay today, huh, Ma?
Very nice day.
I love you, Ma.
It's fresh air.
That's what I got for now. Hope you have a rad day. Peace.
That's